to talk to Coach Ficco from West Branch. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good to hear from you, and we are excited to hear from you. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, my pleasure.
So we have been told by many people in the area that West Branch Girls Soccer is one of the programs in the area that we really have to keep our eye on at YSN. Special program. What is making things so exciting coming this fall about this program, and what are you so excited about?
Well, this fall, we have a great group of girls coming back this year. Last year we had, I believe it was about 12 or 13 freshmen on our team last year. So last year was kind of one of those years where we really wanted to kind of get them on board and get them, in and intermixed with our high school program. And now these girls have a year of experience under their belt and are coming back, and we're really excited about that class. And as well as we have, the seniors and juniors as well in place. And I think this year will really make us a pretty competitive team. And then going forward, so for probably about at least the next 2 seasons foreseeably for certain.
So when you talk about, we've talked to a couple a lot of soccer coaches earlier in the week, and they've talked about building the youth programs and being able to get kids developed. What's the West Branch game plan? I know you've had a really busy summer with clinics for the youth soccer programs. What kind of things does West Branch do to really build the youth soccer in the community?
So we do have the Sebring West Branch Soccer League does a great job at the recreational level, getting the youth into soccer, starting with the under 6 age group. So there's a local option available to the families in the West Branch area, and then once they get a little bit older, we do have we've historically had travel teams in place for both the boys and the girls side that have either competed over in Akron or they've competed over in the Youngstown area. Right now, we're going to have our middle school girls will be playing in a new league that's kind of like a coaches league over in the Youngstown area this year. And we've got a nice turnout of those. So like you were saying, the development of the youth program is very important for a successful high school team for sure. And we have gotten some of our younger players involved in some of the clubs. So they've gotten a lot of really great experience, even above travel experience, playing with their clubs, and that also translates very well once they become high school players too.
Talk about the club scene in the area and how much it helps the program, and to be able to have players that aren't just playing on your team, but then going in the off season and playing with club teams and getting the reps on the soccer field.
Oh yeah, for sure. I always say that the more club players I have on my team, the easier my job is. But it is, there's some truth to that. And at West Branch, honestly, we do love our multi-sport athletes as well. So we're not just all about club soccer players. We have a lot of basketball players on our team. We have a lot of track runners on our team as well. And then we do have the handful of girls that just really love soccer, and they do commit to playing club year-round. So we do have some of them that are over at clubs out of the Youngstown area. So there's some that might be playing over, I think there's some at FDA, there's some at MVS, there's a lot of acronyms. Then we have some that play more up towards Akron and Cleveland as well. So we have a couple that play for the internationals up that way too. So all of that experience against top level competition just really does develop them as very smart, aware soccer players.
Talk a little bit about your summer and how it's a little bit back to normal compared to last year. I've seen you've been able to have a few friendlies with other teams, and you've been able to have a summer that's back to normal. How much that means for a soccer team to be able to do the things that you're able to do this summer?
It's been a great summer. We really start. Everything is obviously optional until we get into August, but we've started offering more things. Usually after the 4th of July is when we get more into our friendlies. We enter some showcases. Tomorrow, actually, we'll be traveling up to Kenston to play in a showcase up in Kenston. But we've been able to train, too, so the Ohio High School Athletic Association was allowing us to train the players more this summer than what we had been able to do pre-COVID, which was nice as well. So with some of those restrictions being loosened, we've been able to get great training sessions in, getting the girls starting to work together to be at a point where they're getting comfortable positionally with each other, and just getting a lot of great work on the ball this summer. It's been nice.
And conditioning is so important in soccer with all the conditioning that goes into that sport. What kind of things do you guys do to make sure that the conditioning is there come the start of the season?
Yeah, we do have fitness standards for the high school girls coming into season, so they know particularly what they need to be able to do from a fitness standpoint during that first week of August. So a lot of times, honestly, we give them opportunities to kind of do practice runs of their fitness tests during July. But if they realize that that's something they need to work on, we kind of put that on them as a responsibility to get in the time, maybe out on the track or out on the field doing their sprints, whatever they need to do to get their conditioning in place. And to be honest, what I've found is that playing soccer is great conditioning for soccer. If you want to be able to play a whole 80-minute high school soccer game, you better be out there practicing playing soccer on a full-size field where you have to run around and be active for a lot amount of time. So just playing the game itself is great conditioning for the girls, and it's also a lot of fun.
You said it, a lot of returning players from last year, but still a pretty young group. Who are some of the people you're going to lean on to be emotional and verbal leaders out on the field for you with a pretty young group of girls?
No, for sure. We have one of our seniors who we award a junior captainship. So we have one junior captain who then carries over into their senior season, and that will be Addie Jones. She is a phenomenal soccer player, definitely someone to watch. And we rely a lot on her leadership on the field. We also have several other seniors. We've got Katie Kent, and we've got Kirsten Hoffman, who are there, and they're very supportive, very encouraging teammates, and they would be leaned on a lot of times probably for the emotional support factor as well. So those are some of the three girls that are coming up into their senior season that have been with us all 4 seasons. And then as well, some of our juniors obviously are starting. So, the transition from sophomore to junior is kind of when you start to realize you're really more of an upperclassman and looked on as a leader. So those girls will continue to develop as we go through the season this year too.
With so much experience coming back, does that make your job a lot easier to know that, you don't have to be scared if you're putting someone in a situation because they've been there before?
Yes. I mean, we do turn over certain key positions. Most of our offensive unit, we graduated, 2 of the 3 forward players last year. So we do lose most of our goal scoring. I think those 2 girls were our first and our second leading scorers. So we will be backfilling our offense this year, but we're comfortable with the girls that we have coming in. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of learning and growth at the beginning of the season, but we have some great options there. And then we did graduate our goalkeeper, so again, that's another very, very important position. It's a mentally challenging position to be goalkeeper. So we're really working to get our goalkeeper situation in a great place and making sure they're comfortable and they're confident when they step on the field.
And we know that not everyone can be a goalkeeper. It's one of the mentalities that you can't coach. So what goes into a great goalkeeper's mentality, and what kind of personality type does it take to be back there and to be a trustworthy goalkeeper?
Well, we talk a lot about resilience. So being able to let go of things and not dwell on things if something happens that's out of your, that maybe we didn't want to happen. So especially as a goalkeeper, you can't get down on yourself if you let a shot in that maybe you think you should have saved, because there's still more game to play. So I'd say resilience is definitely one. The other big thing that we look for in goalkeepers is their communication. So they have to be a vocal leader. They need to be assertive and authoritative and really help because standing in the back of the net, they can see the whole field and help organize. So we do look for strong communication from our goalkeepers as well.
And when you look at the sport right now in the Olympics, of course, it's on such a national stage, and we've seen the growth of girls soccer, especially girls soccer, because of the popularity of their national team. What does it mean to you as a coach to kind of look back and see the last 10 years, the growth of the sport and the recognition that girls soccer is getting?
I think it's great. I was up watching the Olympics this morning, and they went into overtime shootouts. So, I mean, the level that the United States women have been able to achieve has been amazing for promoting the growth of the game for the girls in the U.S. I know when I played soccer a long time ago, I had to play on a boys' up until my junior year of high school was when we got a girls' soccer team. So just seeing the growth of it from that point up to now is amazing. And then the quality and the numbers of girls that you have playing has also grown dramatically. So before you might have had a handful of pretty good female soccer players, and now you can find whole teams of very competitive, very strong girl soccer players. And you know, as a person who really loves the game of soccer, it makes me happy to see. Also, sorry, I get excited kind of about this. Just the availability of soccer to be watched on TV, especially on the women's side, has really, really improved too. So the girls have these role models on the field that they can see. Man, they play really great soccer. I want to be like her someday. And you can actually watch it on TV now, which is something that was not always the case.
That's one of the things I want to talk about with soccer. The availability of a team for a casual fan to watch. When they're watching soccer, they're watching the highest level you can possibly watch, because really the only soccer that gets the national coverage is either the national team or maybe the professional league. And then they go to a high school game as a casual fan and they realize they're not there. I mean, what would you say to a casual fan of soccer to kind of change their expectations of going into a high school soccer game?
Yeah. I mean, we don't have the same. I would love to have the same level of play here as the women's national team, but it's always a growth process. So what I would just urge, as a fan, sometimes you can find that high school soccer in a way could be more exciting to watch. Sometimes you get really high-scoring games. You get a lot of back and forth. You get a lot of risk-taking because they just want to go out there and they want to play hard and they want to try to win. Whereas, sometimes in the more professional level games, they're more organized. It might be a little more methodical. It might be, at times, a little bit more tactful, obviously more tactful, and at times maybe a little slower in pace. And the high school kids usually just go out there and there's a lot of end-to-end action. If you get a competitive game where 2 teams or more evenly matched, you can get a lot of end-to-end action, lots of goals. We saw maybe 12 goals scored in one of our games last year. That's an amazing number of goals. So it can be, and the other thing I would say about high school sports is just the community aspect of it. We really get the community involvement and cheering for the school and the local teams, which is something you don't see a lot of times at the club level. It's really a bonus of the high school and the community league.
I mean, one of the things we've realized covering West Branch is their community really supports their athletes and they travel well. I mean, it's not just home West Branch games. You go to a West Branch away game and sometimes you'll see more green in the crowd than the home team. I mean, talk about what it's like to have the community backing that you do at West Branch.
Oh, yeah. We do have a strong community support. We had our parent meeting the other night, and I was just telling them, how grateful we are to have all their support. They prepare meals for the girls before every game. They're there for them, whatever we ask of them. They're there to support us. The school is very supportive of us, and the parents of the team would, like you said, they travel with us, they feed us, they take care of us, they cheer us on, and they're just there for us no matter what. So in the West Branch, we have created, that culture where we've had success, and I think that also draws in other spectators and maybe other casual fans to come watch our games as well.
Yeah, and you nailed it. We'll also learn really quick the standard of success at West Branch. You'll walk into that gym, and you see the championships on the wall, and you go, well, okay. Especially with the girls' sports, you say, this is real. I mean, what's it like to have that standard of success, and how much does it raise the bar for you guys to really keep not just competing with the team across from you, but kind of competing with yourselves a little bit?
Right. Yeah. Yep. We do. We luckily, like you said it too. The girls at West Branch, and the boys as well, but the girls at West Branch, they do really hold a high bar as far as athletics. So you do get the kids that come in and they want to work hard and they want to keep going and they want to be successful and they expect to be successful. But they don't. But they understand that they have to work for it too. So there are a bunch of kids that they want to be successful and they want to put in the time to be successful. So I'll have kids. I'll be like, oh, you guys have worked so hard this week. Maybe we should take tomorrow off. And I'll have a handful of kids that say, no, we want to practice. We need to practice. So those are the kind of kids, that we have on our team. that as coaches just love to have, because they always want to keep pushing themselves and pushing their teammates to get better.
You know, you said it before, a lot of multiple sport athletes at West Branch on both girls and boys. And in some schools, that might cause some friction. You know, I want this athlete, you know, but you never see that with the West Branch coaches. They're always willing to share athletes. What's it like working with the athletic community at West Branch and being able to kind of work with the other coaches and share so many athletes like you do?
Yeah, I think we keep our lines of communication open. We have a couple girls on the team that are multi-fall sport athletes, so they might be bouncing between soccer and cross country or soccer and golf. You know, and it's just the coaches realize that we just have to work together to make everything as successful for the student athlete as we can, and you know, to be respectful of both sports. So it's a give and a take. You know, if you want, as a coach, we just know that there's times where we have to, you know, give the athletes their time to go to the other sports, and there will be times when the athletes will come to our sports. So it's a balance, and it's walking that tightrope with the lines of communication that we have between the coaching staff makes it all very possible.
Talk about your schedule this year and some of the challenges that you guys will be facing as you go through the schedule of 2021.
Yeah. We have a pretty competitive schedule this year. Of course, we have all the teams in the EBC, so those are always important for us because we're looking for our 8th conference championship in a row here. So we don't take any of those games lightly. But outside of conference, we start the first week of games. We have Howland, we go up to Berkshire, and then we have Boardman. So we have 2 big Division I programs out of the Youngstown area just in our first week of play. You know, we also face Canfield, which is one of these teams in our division as well, Division II, that we seem to face once, if not twice, every year, possibly in tournaments. And that's a great rivalry we have developed with Canfield as we've gotten more competitive with them. Then we also have Fitch. Kenston is looking to be very strong again this year, so we'll play Kenston. Poland, we go up to North Ridgeville. There's many more, but those are just some of the ones off the top of my head that I know are going to be, those are going to be games that are going to have to come in and be ready to play.
8 straight conference championships. That's an eye opener right there. Does it get harder as the years go on to kind of carry that mantle of that target of 7 straight, 6 straight? Then now you're at 8 straight, and you know that the league is gunning for you so hard because every other team wants to end that streak. Does it get harder as the years go on, as more and more years get added to that streak?
I feel like it does put that target on you for sure. And other teams, they're like, man, if we can just knock off such and such, then that's what we want to do this year. So we know a lot of teams will come into our games pretty excited to play us. So we just have to keep our focus in place to be able to hold on to that streak and keep going forward like we have. Nothing lasts forever. I'd love for it to keep going as long as it can, though.
The other interesting thing about 8 years is that's not just we had one great class that came in and dominated for 4 years or whatever. That's sustained excellence. Talk about what that takes and what it takes to go past just one good class or one good group of girls that comes in. You have to really sustain the standard.
Yeah, no, for instance, not last year I think we had about 16 years. The year before we had probably 11. So after we graduated, that class of 11, where a lot of them were starting in their positions on the field, you kind of come into that season like, how is this going to shape up? But too, I found that the girls realize that they need to step up into that space that that was just vacated by the graduations, and they're ready to work and ready to prove that they can carry on the tradition. So that's where whenever I think that we might potentially be on a little bit of uncertainty with who we've lost and how we're coming back up, the girls manage to, they work hard, they step up into the roles we ask them to take, and then we just keep going from there. And we bring, just bringing the freshmen in, getting them experience, whether it's through the JV the first couple of years or whether they move right up into the varsity squad, but getting them that playing experience, getting them in under our system, making sure they understand the standards and the expectations, and then just seeing the growth that they have over the next couple of years in the program is a lot of
And I'm sure as a coach, it's got to be really rewarding to have seniors that understand that it's not just how good they are this year, but how good the program is when they leave it, and to be able to build leaders for the next year. So you're not wondering how your juniors are going to handle that.
Right. Yeah, I remember actually last year at the beginning of the season when we had that huge freshman class, I pulled the seniors aside and I was like, look, a lot of your job this year is to get these younger ones involved and get them up to speed with, what we're doing here, and really, have the program in a place that will keep going in a good spot once you guys are out of here. So, and they accepted that role. One of them would say, my job here is to make everyone around me better. So it's not just about me, but it's about making everyone on the team around me a better team, because one great player on a soccer team against 11 on another team isn't going to cut it. So it really is about the whole team development and growth.
And you talk about team development. I'm sure summer is so important with team chemistry and team bonding. And I just saw the team breakfast on Twitter a couple of days ago.
Yep.
What kind of things do you guys do to make sure team chemistry stays up and the bonding stays up?
Yeah. Like I said, we've been fortunate that usually the girls are great friends. Every once in a while, whenever you get a group of 30 girls together, you have to work through some growing pains. But what we incorporate in with our team is we do really try to stress that as our coaching staff, if we see any issues, we usually are pretty quick to respond to them. Be like, hey, look, we need to sort this out. We're on the same team. Let's work together. We do a lot of fun activities. I graduated from West Branch. And my coach at the time from West Branch, we had a preseason party where we did skits by grade level. So that was something that I brought back when I became the head coach about 5 years ago. So by grade level in August, we all get together. We have a team party. Someone else has a swimming pool. We have lots of food, games, and they put on these really silly skits that are just hilarious. And each class, grade level, will perform for everyone else. We do all kinds of things like that. We have fun activities at practice that we incorporate team building activities into our practice as well. So it's about getting better at soccer, but also it's the enjoyment process of being there and enjoying being with your teammates that helps keep the team bond together.
Before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to talk about the coaching staff and your support system, because we're interviewing you, but I know that the staff doesn't get nearly as much limelight as they should, and you wouldn't be where you are without the staff. So talk a little bit about your coaches and the people that support you.
Yeah, no, for sure. So my right hand man is Coach Zach Dean. He is, I believe, he's a couple years out of high school. He spent his first maybe 3 years out of high school helping as a volunteer assistant with the boys program, and then he came over to the girls program last year. He helps me with everything. We bounce ideas off of each other constantly, all kinds of administrative tasks. The girls really, really enjoy him. And whenever he walks by, they're like, "Oh, Coach Dean, hey!" I don't get really the warm reception that he does, but they do. They really enjoy working with Coach Dean, and he does a great job. He's played multiple positions in his soccer career. He has served as a goalkeeper at. He actually plays goalie for one of the indoor teams I played with. So he has knowledge in goalkeeping and particularly in the defense. So he is crucial in helping with some of our goalkeeper training, and then also he manages a lot of our defensive practice preparations. And he is the head coach of the JV team. So he manages the JV team rather independently. So he, like I said, just a great individual to have on the team. I couldn't thank him enough. And then we also do have like a volunteer goalkeeper coach that comes in and works with us maybe once or so a week, and that's Coach Bach. She is a very excellent goalkeeper. So it's wonderful to have her knowledge. She's also part of the track coaching staff, so she's around the school and she knows the students well. So having her on board with us is just a really nice added bonus that our goalkeepers can get one-on-one training at least once or twice a week, and have those moments coached what they really need. And then the whole school, Mr. Helms, he's great. Open lines of communication with him. Miranda in the athletic office helps keep us on schedule. The facility staff is always great to take my phone calls and help me out when we need things fixed on the field, or the grass needs cut, or the lines painted. They always take my phone calls. So all that, all that support. The boosters, I shouldn't forget the boosters either. The boosters are super active in supporting the program as well. So we have a great support staff for our soccer program over here at West Branch.
I apologize for keeping you, but your answer kind of popped another question into my head, which is, what practices in soccer? What's a perfect West Branch soccer practice in your mind? What do practices look like? Are they drill heavy, or are they kind of working on set plays for corners, or what's a really good practice for West Branch soccer kind of look like?
For us, and this my coaching vision has evolved some over the years. I've found that I really like a lot, not as much drilling. We've really scaled back on our drilling today. It's a lot more of structured, or playing, but with like certain objectives or certain targets or certain spaces. So we just adjust either the objectives of the game, or the space of the game, or the numbers of people playing in the game. So a lot of it is playing based. I found that the kids, number one, they enjoy playing a lot more than they enjoy drilling. And number two, playing the game translates into playing a full game, and better than a drill would translate into preparing them, maybe necessarily for a match. So we have gone, more heavy on our play-based practices. That also incorporates a lot of fitness. You don't have as many kids standing around for a drill. They're all actively engaged in playing the game of soccer.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. It was great to hear from you. Good luck this season, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
For sure. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Coach Cheryl Ficco of the West Branch girls soccer team joining us. That was a really interesting conversation